All right, good morning and welcome. What's up? Coming to you live. This is Richie Contartesi from beautiful and sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, with another episode of SalesPreneur. I got a really good one today. What is the hardest part of entrepreneurship and sales, and how do I overcome it? So, like I've said a few times, I am going to be doing these moving forward. I know I said I was going to be trying to do this every day. That was mainly because of the fact that I was on the little maternity leave. I am back on the road last week and this week again. I'm going to be heading out. So what I'm going to do to keep this super consistent is I'm going to make one of these episodes every week, and I'm going to try to keep it on a Monday. And I think a Monday is a great day, mainly just because it's Monday, right? And it's a great day to get the week going and get the ball rolling, having the right mindset and pulling any content that could potentially help you that week. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. So every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'll be launching one of these episodes. And this will help because if I'm on the road and I'm traveling, I could still 99.9% of the time do this on a Monday. But every day when I'm on the road and flights, it's going to be really difficult. So now that I'm back on the road again, every Monday morning, SalesPreneur episode going to rock. So go ahead, and if you have any questions, make sure to leave them at the end. This episode is really just like kind of came to light over this past weekend. And like I said, I'm going to be switching these up. So what is the hardest part of entrepreneurship and sales, and how do I overcome it? So here's some of the top things that most people would consider the hardest part of entrepreneurship or the hardest part of sales. And here's all of them that I found. Time management, not knowing what to do next, managing emotions, fears, pain, uncertainty of being able to monetize, expectations, generating money and making a profit, having a family, not being able to sleep at night, employee management and responsibility, getting paid last, if there is anything left, decision making, personal and professional growth, time, being able to do that, just having the time to do that. So those are what most people would say are their biggest kind of challenges. I wanted to do some research because I found mine this past weekend, and like as I'm finding this, I was like, I want to see what other entrepreneurs or other salespeople, what were some of theirs, and that's what I found. I didn't find one of them was close to one that I think is every salesperson and every entrepreneurs, and this is literally spending 2 years traveling the country and speaking with thousands of them, and it like clicked because I was like, okay, so this is what other people, this is what mine is. So here's what it is. The reason that I truly believe the hardest part of entrepreneurship and sales is the fact that there are no guarantees. There's no guarantees on anything. On literally everything that I just went through in that list, there are zero guarantees. And you may have so many ideas, so many options of different ways to run your business, different marketing, different sales options, different people to hire, different pains, different fears, literally everything I went through. There's so many different ways to do it. And when you actually sit down and pick one and do it, there is no guarantee that that way or that option or that thing that you're doing will work. Whether you're in sales or you're an entrepreneur, there's no guarantees, and that is what causes fear, pain, anxiety, all of these things. To me, when you look at why most people quit, is because of that. Because there's no guarantees. They're like, oh, I can go get a job. I have a guaranteed paycheck. I have a guaranteed, I can have somebody that tells me what to do, and I'm guaranteed that as long as I do what they tell me to do, then I have a guaranteed job. I have a guaranteed paycheck. And this is literally, in my opinion, the hardest part of entrepreneurship. There's so many ideas, options. And so here's the thing. So let's say you pick one of these options. There's so much hard work that goes into that, relentless work if you're doing it right. So what should I do? What should I do next? And I'm going to share an example that I had over this weekend. And so the number one thing that I would say to always think about, and there's still no guarantees with this, is what will lead to the most revenue and the most growth? What task can I do today that will lead to the most money and most growth? And so you might have 3 different options, right? Like, okay, I'm going to send DMs and messages, or I'm going to do cold calls, or I'm going to do cold emails, or I'm going to work on the marketing, or I'm going to build my team. Like, there's different things that may lead to more money and more growth for you, like lots of different things, right? So picking that is the hardest part. So what this leads to is discomfort, right? Fear, which ultimately leads to not starting or doing anything at all, right? And so I read this quote this morning, and it really stood out to me because it hits home with everything that we're talking about, right? Like, to not starting, doing anything at all, just failing, and choosing a different career path. This is what 99% of people do. This is why people don't build book of businesses and sales, and why entrepreneurs fail. So I read this quote, and I thought it was really, really good. And it says this: between the starting line and the finish line is where you do the hard work and burn the most energy. It's also where you encounter steep inclines, fatigue, and setbacks such as cash flow shortages, hiring issues, and burnout. Everybody loves the start, and everybody loves the finish. It's the in-between part that's the hardest part. The part where you don't know where the finish line is. There are no guarantees with anything that you do. I added that last part. So everyone's excited in the beginning. Oh, I got the sales job. I already know some people that I have contacts with. I already have a book. I'm going to crush it, until they see reality. Or an entrepreneur, the starting line's excited for 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. They're super pumped until they get started and realize how difficult it is, realize what dealing with no guarantees is. And so this past weekend, I wonder if I can show it on here. Let me see here. So this, you're going to see some baby stuff. So this over here can be difficult here. See if I just spin this. All right, hold on. There we go. All right, so this over here, that board that you're looking at, my volume might be weird there, but that board that you're looking at, that is the little pack and play. That board is literally all no guarantees. So what do I mean by that? So I like showing stuff like that because I just think it's real, right? Like, so many people like say stuff and they actually don't really do it. So I spent all weekend, holiday weekend, with my baby, and when I wasn't with the baby, I worked on that. And I ran around. My mind was going crazy. I'm literally mapping out my whole AdWords campaign. I've restructured it. I'm actually fired the marketing person that I had been working with because they just weren't cutting it. And I have no, they just weren't. They just were saying they were doing things and they weren't. And so this is one area that I think if you're in sales and you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be the absolute best salesperson in the world, and you have to be the best marketer in the world. And so sales is something I've always really concentrated and I've gotten good at. So marketing is the next thing that I've always known how to do, and I've done it really well. But I also think that there's an extreme next level, and so that's what I'm working on now. So here are a few ways that you can, and here's the thing, here are a few ways that you can overcome it and overcome this no guarantees. There's no guarantees. When I was sitting there at that board spending all my time all weekend doing that, like literally zero guarantees that any of that was going to work. Just not, I don't know. It just may work, it may not work. I just don't know. So here's number one, is obviously how do we overcome this hardest part is to have a mentor who has already done it, so you can take the current strategies that you're using and implement it. Number one, if you don't have a mentor, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have a mentor, I haven't built that relationship yet. I'm working on building that relationship. Okay, that's fine. There's tons of information online. You got to be careful. There's a difference between information and organized information. So purchasing courses is much different than just looking at YouTube videos, because you're going to get 15,000 ideas from 15,000 different people. Whereas organized information like a course is much better. It's not as good as a mentor, someone who's already done it. Most of these people say they've already done it. I do some research on that and just make sure that you can customize it to your situation. That's the hardest part with courses, is you can learn the content just like you can read a book, but is it customized to you, right? So that's the hard part there. So let's see. So one good thing that you could think about as well is, once you get really good at something like sales or business side of things, or the marketing, like whatever you get good at, that's when you can hire somebody, replace yourself, and get good at something else and repeat. So it's like rinse and repeat. The second thing is get used to taking risks. Like, there's no bottom line, calculated risks. So there's a big difference between taking risks and taking calculated risks, right? So for example, this AdWords thing is a very calculated risk. Like, yeah, it may fail, but I've been doing AdWords for 5 years and I have a lot of data. So I know that spending a lot of time with no guarantees is risky, but it's more of a calculated risk because I know eventually it will work. Like, I will get it to work. It's just how long. And also, like the gym, for example, like when I moved gym to a new location and spent quite a bit and invested and risked a lot of time and money into this brand new location, I knew beforehand it was going to work. I knew that we were the only one downtown. I knew that getting a space down there was really impossible, and we got the best one. So there's a lot of different things that I knew beforehand. So there's a difference between just, a lot of people say, oh, you're an entrepreneur, just like jump in and take the biggest risks. No, like that's not smart. So there's calculated risks. So understand that, yes, there's no guarantees, but if you have a mentor, you have a course, you have the information, the context around it, you can make better calculated risks. And then always keep your eye on the prize and your why. And if you don't know what the why is, then watch the last episode, or pretty much like all the episodes. The last episode I did is how to find your why. So I would highly suggest watching that one. So that's all I have today. Hardest part of entrepreneurship and sales is the fact that there is zero guarantees. Whatever your sales process is, whatever your activities are for the day, there's no guarantees that any time you spend is going to work. That's the difference between having a job and being in sales or being an entrepreneur. And so how you handle that is what matters. What you do about it is what matters. So I hope that was able to provide you some good information. Let's see. What's up, Michelle Stevens? I do not see any questions. So that is all that I have today. Again, just quick reminder, we'll be doing this every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. Because my maternity leave is over, I will not be doing these every day, but every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, I will be coming live to you with as much good mindset and content information that I can provide you. Go out and have yourself a great week, a great day. If you're feeling down today, if you're feeling like, man, this is the holidays, I got to get back into the grind, I'm feeling down, depressed, whatever, think back to that why that you have. Think back to the end result. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep grinding. Just keep grinding, even though it may look impossible right now. And I know what that feels like, because in certain areas and certain things, I'm experiencing that. If you stay delusional and keep telling yourself eventually it will happen, eventually a door will open up. An opportunity will open up. Something will come your way. Something will change. You'll learn something new that will change everything. Keep going. Keep trying. Don't stop because you feel a certain way. Your prize has to be stronger than your pain. Keep that in mind. Keep doing that, and eventually you'll get there. So that's what I have for today. Michelle, what's up? Al, what's going on, buddy? Hope you guys are doing good. I will see you guys next Monday morning, and make it a great week.